the Llama Incident.
Welcome back to Under the Plumbob Podcast, the show where we talk about all things Sims. I'm Allie. Joining me today are Ava, Caitlin, Jen, Jess, Julia, Mars, and Vanity.
Hi!
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 Today we're going to be talking about the newest Sims expansion pack, Eco Lifestyle. Have you guys had a chance to play it yet?
Oh, I have. I love the new build items, especially solar panels and wind turbines, because I'm an eco-friendly bitch.
Same here. I think it's great that The Sims is highlighting the importance of eco-friendly living.
And the new cast items are so cute. I love the new hairstyles and clothing options.
But have you guys seen the new llama costume? It's hilarious.
Wait, speaking of llamas, do you guys hear that?
Wait, what was that?
Oh my god, a wild llama just broke into the studio!
How did it even get in here?
Quick! Somebody grab some letters or something to distract it.
I'll try to gently guide it out of the room.
I can't believe this is happening.
This is definitely not something you see every day.
Well, at least it's not a bear or a raccoon, right?
Well, let's just hope it doesn't make it a mess on the equipment.
And with that unexpected turn of events, I think we'll have to end our episode here. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on Under the Plumbob Podcast.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye.
Bye, I guess.
Bye.
Interview with a werewolf.
Welcome back to Under the Plumbob Podcast, the show where we discuss all things The Sims. I'm Jen, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Caitlin and Julia.
Hi, everyone!
Hello.
Today we have a very special guest joining us in the studio, a werewolf!
Hello there.
Wow, this is exciting. We've never had a supernatural creature on the show before.
Yeah, and I have to say, you're looking pretty dapper in that suit you're wearing.
Why, thank you. I try to keep up appearances even when I'm not in my wolf form.
So let's get down to business. We know that werewolves have been a part of the Sims franchise since Sims 2, but they've gone through some changes over the years. What are your thoughts on how werewolves are portrayed in The Sims 4?
Well, I have to say, I'm pretty happy with how we've been represented. We've had a lot of fun interactions with other Sims, and our transformation animations are really cool.
That's great to hear. Do you have a favorite pack or expansion that features werewolves?
Definitely the Supernatural expansion for The Sims 3. I loved being able to play as a werewolf and interact with other supernatural creatures like witches and vampires.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite expansions too. Do you have any tips for players who want to create a werewolf sim?
Sure. First, make sure to give your sim the loner trait, since werewolves can be pretty solitary creatures. Also, try to have them exercise a lot and spend time outdoors, since those activities will build up their werewolf skills. And of course, make sure to give them a full moon-themed outfit.
Wow, those are some great tips. Thanks for sharing them with us. Now we have one final question for you. What do you think the future holds for werewolves in The Sims?
That's a tough one. I'd love to see more interactions between werewolves and other supernatural creatures. Maybe even some kind of supernatural society that we can be a part of. And of course, more customization options for our wolf forms would be great too.
Those all sound like great ideas. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Oh, anytime. And remember, if you ever need help dealing with pesky vampires or zombies, just give me a howl.
Will do. That's all the time we have today, folks. Thanks for tuning into Under the Plumbob podcast, and we'll see you next time. Interview with the Vlad. With the Vlad.
With a Vlad? The Vlad.
Hello, and welcome to Under the Plumbob podcast, your ultimate source for all things Sims. I'm Caitlin, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Jen and Allie.
Hi, everyone.
Hey there.
Today, we have a special guest joining us. He's a bit of a mysterious character, and I hear he has a taste for the dark side.
Ooh, what is it?
It's none other than Count Vladius Strahd, the infamous vampire from Forgotten Hollow.
Greetings, mortals.
Wow, it's really you.
We're so honored to have you on the show.
Vlad, can you tell us a bit about what it's like being a vampire in The Sims 4?
It is both a curse and a blessing. I am immortal, but I must feel the blood of others to survive.
That sounds a little intense, bro.
How do you choose your victims?
I prefer to feed on those who are willing to offer themselves to me. I find it to be a much more enjoyable experience for both parties involved.
Interesting. And what about relationships? Can vampires have meaningful relationships with other Sims?
It is possible, but difficult. My kind are often feared and misunderstood by mortals, but there are some who are open-minded and willing to accept us for who we are.
That's really deep.
Speaking of relationships, have you ever had a romantic interest in any of the Sims in Forgotten Hollow?
I must admit, I've had my eye on a few. But alas, it's not easy to find someone who can handle the darkness within me.
Well, we certainly appreciate you shedding some light on what it's like to be a vampire in The Sims 4. Before we wrap up, do you have any tips or advice for our listeners who might be interested in playing as a vampire?
My advice would be to embrace the darkness within yourself. Embrace your immortality and revel in the power that comes with it. But always remember to be discreet and never let your thirst for blood consume you.
Those are truly words to live by.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Vlad. It's been a real pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine. Until we meet again, mortals.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Under the Plumbob podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Agnes the Sim Legend.
This is what we maybe should have named that episode, huh?
Welcome to Under the Plumbob, the podcast where we dive deep into all things Sims. I'm Ava, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Caitlin and Jen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. Okay, so today's episode is all about the iconic Agnes Crumplebottom.
She's been part of the Sims franchise since the very beginning, and she is definitely a character that we love. That's it, that we love. I'm not saying that last part.
Agnes is known for being a bit of a curmudgeon, to put it mildly. She's always grumbling and scowling at everyone.
But you know what they say, behind every grumpy sim is a story.
Absolutely, and Agnes definitely has a fascinating story. She's been around since the first Sims game, and she's gone through a lot of changes over the years.
Yeah, in the first game, she was just a random sim who lived in one of the pre-made houses, but in The Sims 2, she became a fully fleshed out character with her own backstory.
And what a backstory it is! Agnes is a widow who lost her husband to a tragic accident. She's been living alone ever since, and it's clear she's still grieving.
But despite her grumpiness, Agnes has a softer side. She's a talented gardener, and she loves to spend time outside with her plants.
And in The Sims 3, she even got a bit of a makeover. She traded in her signature pink dress for a more practical outfit, and she started to become a bit more outgoing.
And let's not forget about her romance with Eric Darling. That was definitely unexpected.
It was, but it just goes to show that there's more to Agnes than meets the eye. She may be grumpy, but she's also got a lot of heart.
Absolutely. And I think that's why she's become such an iconic character in the Sims franchise. She's relatable in her own way.
Definitely. And I can't wait to see what's in store for Agnes in the future. Who knows? Maybe she'll even find love again.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to Under the Plumbob, and we'll see you next time.
The most inaccurate.
This is ChatGPT's predictions. Welcome to Under the Plumbob podcast, the show where we discuss everything about the popular game, The Sims. I'm Julia, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Jess and Ava.
Hey, Sims lovers!
We have a very special guest with us today. It's ChatGPT, a language model created by OpenAI. Welcome, ChatGPT.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
We're so excited to have you. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. I'm a large language model trained on a massive dataset of text. I'm capable of generating human-like responses to a wide variety of questions and prompts.
That's amazing. We have so many questions for you. But let's start with The Sims. Do you play The Sims, ChatGPT?
As a language model, I don't have the ability to play games. However, I've been trained on a large corpus of text that includes information about The Sims.
That's understandable. What do you think about The Sims as a cultural phenomenon?
The Sims has been incredibly successful and has had a significant impact on popular culture. It's a game that allows players to create and control virtual people and their environments, which has resonated with a wide audience.
And we just couldn't agree more. Do you have any thoughts on the future of the Sims franchise?
Based on my analysis of current trends and consumer preferences, I predict that The Sims will continue to evolve and adapt to changing technologies and player expectations. We may see more emphasis on virtual reality and augmented reality experiences, as well as increased focus on social aspects of gameplay.
That's really interesting. What other games do you think will be popular in the future?
As a language model, I don't have personal opinions or preferences. However, based on my analysis of trends and data, I predict that games with social and immersive elements will continue to be popular, as well as those with a focus on narrative and storytelling.
Thank you so much for your insights, ChatGPT. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been great to talk to you all.
That's it for today's episode of Under the Plumbob podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. 1 star only. And we'll see you next time.